Keep it going. Nice.
Thank you.
Good. Welcome back, familia. Andres Fernandez.
And Pablo Peña. Pablo Peña? Yes, that's my name.
They don't know your last name, bro.
Now they do.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can call me Pablo or Mr. Peña. You know? Depends.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I mean, I'm getting pizza tonight, so it should be Mr. Peña. No?
We just we're throwing up an improv get together with our students tonight. So yeah, pizza hashtag pizza por Pablo.
Pizza por Pablo.
If you like this episode, go ahead and shoot us over an email hashtag pizza por Pablo.
Pizza por Pablo.
All right. All right, guys, we got episode 177 coming at you, and as usual, Pablo likes to surprise me with our topics.
Yes.
What are we talking about today, man?
So we're talking about slow is fast. And what is this take number 97.5?
This yeah, Pablo likes to
more or less
mess it up all the time. No. No, mentira. Damn. 97.5. Go. All right.
Okay.
So episode 177, slow is fast.
Slow is fast.
Okay, I like that. All right. So how did this awareness come to be?
So last Sunday we went to El Maní by Adriela Malena.
Okay, the party in Doral, El Domingazo.
Yeah, El Domingazo.
Pop and spot. If you're in Miami, if you are driving distance to the Doral area, even if you're not driving distance, fly over to El Maní in Doral. El Domingazo by Adrian and Mari.
Yep.
Male.
And
they're killing it over there, doing a great party.
yeah, it's amazing. They're amazing at like entertaining the party and all of that. And well, we basically went over there as a group. Me, Lester, the other instructor from Miramar, and a couple of students from all of the locations, and we started dancing. And there was this couple from Cuba, like straight from Cuba.
Okay.
And they were amazing dancers, maybe 30s, 40s, and they were dancing, and you could tell they are not bailarines. They were bailadores.
Okay. Difference.
What episode is that, by the way?
Oof. Go, keep talking, and I'll give you that number. That's a good question.
So they were definitely bailadores, not bailarines. They weren't like trained or anything to dance. And I saw them dancing and doing ruedas, and they were dancing very Cuban-like. Like the rueda they were doing was completely different to anything I've seen in Miami. The way they dance, like with another person, like couples, you could say, was completely different from everything I saw in Miami. And I just started watching them, and I think they just inspired me to dance more Cuban, which is the style. Like I initially started, like when I was learning how to dance, I initially danced very Cuban, very like guaguancó, like very with my shoulders a lot. And now I'm a little bit more elegant. But point is that as the night went through, I started dancing. I had a dance with Lucia. Shout out to Lucia. Lucia, student from University Park. And I danced with her, and I noticed that was one of my like more fun dances that I've had in a long time.
Okay.
And I found out it was because I guess I was making the level of the dance more low to where she could start like actually breathing and doing her own stuff. And I actually thought of a very good analogy to make you guys understand this, which is like, imagine there's a really high mountain. Okay. And I've been dancing, I've been climbing for a longer time. I know how to climb mountains better. I figured out the best paths and the best techniques.
You got more practice.
Right, more practice. And I can go 3,000 feet above the ground. I don't know if that's realistic or not.
Sure.
But 3,000 feet. And she can only go 1,000 feet. And what was happening is that a lot of the times you start going 2,000 feet, 2,500 feet, and you get to the 3,000 feet and you realize that, yes, you're a very good climber and you can even like climb with your partner on the back, but they can't even breathe at that altitude. There's no way they can climb with you. So what you gotta do is go down to the altitude or the place where they can handle, and then you both start exploring the mountain together. Because I figured out that which I figured out, no, I got reminded that it's not about climbing the mountain as high as possible. It's about exploring the mountain and having fun with whoever you are there.
With whoever you
with
are there.
the other person.
I think you explained that nicely. Was you're saying that you're dancing at a level in which your partner can breathe.
They don't have to survive, which we were talking about.
Right. And I think that's huge. Again, when we're talking about art, when we're talking about creativity, allowing your parties, your team, to be comfortable, to feel safe, so that they can also have a good time, so that they can thrive and go beyond surviving, which actually fits really nicely. Go figure, to the title is Slow is Fast, because you're able to accomplish a lot more by going slower. And I think a lot of people can kind of get, I don't know, I guess the word's triggered by, I gotta come down, and it's not so much that, it's as we've spoken about in another previous episode, is meeting your partner halfway and finding one another. By the way, the episode number that Pablo was talking about, referring to this Cuban couple, is number 37, Bailarines, Bailadores, and Strippers. Which was an interesting episode. More of a definitions explanation than anything specifically for those that are non-Latin, and kind of getting the difference, because in English, bailarines and bailadores is the same thing. It's dancer, right? In Spanish, it's not. So kind of like the way that you would say a dancer and a stripper, right? Yeah, a stripper's a dancer, absolutely, but they're two different things. They're two different things. Same way bailarines and bailadores, they just have energetic differences. Not saying that one is better than the other by any stretch of the imagination. There's just an energetic difference. So when you're referring to this Cuban couple, they're not necessarily trained, from 2 years old, dancing, classic styles, versus kind of like learning a little bit more de la calle, from the street, right? Yeah. Their artistic abilities come more from the general nature of the culture versus their training, if that makes sense. Not saying that they haven't trained, but to compare it to the training of a bailarín, a professional dancer, it wouldn't be fair.
It wouldn't be fair at all.
And that's the best way to summarize that. Okay, so you're out. You see this couple. You see them having a really good time.
Yes.
You're saying that you can tell that they're able to do a lot of complicated things, but you're not really seeing them do they, or they are?
So the way I saw it is that, of course, they could do a lot of complicated things, but
you could tell in their dancing that they could.
Yeah, but
okay.
You could tell they were at a high level, not because the turns they were doing, but because the way they were dancing. Not the what, but the how. And they had a lot of
level 6 how.
Yes. They had a let me see how I can explain it. The way they danced, it wasn't blocky. You could tell they were relaxed. You could tell that whatever they were doing because they were expressing with the music. You could tell they were connected to the music. You could tell they were connected to one another, which is what we're talking about today with the mountain, and like making sure you both can actually breathe at the altitude you're at. Like, you don't want to be at 3,000 feet if your partner can only handle 1,000.
Right.
And you could tell that they were very, very connected with whoever they were dancing. It wasn't only them as a couple. Like, you could see the guy dancing with other follows, and it was absolutely amazing. You could tell that depending on the follow he danced with, he was doing different things, and maybe he kept things simpler, and the way he connected with each follow was very different. Because let's say, for example, you might start doing guaguancó, like a little rumba, and maybe their follow doesn't know rumba, and he immediately switched it to something she could do.
Right.
And same thing with the lady. I mean, the lady was amazing. She could connect to everyone, and it was ridiculous. But
I'm sure that's awesome. And I especially for, I believe, in my experience, for relative newbies, for the babies, it's almost like I want the goal to kind of be shifted versus, how high can I climb? Yeah. Versus how much fun can I have climbing?
How much can I explore? How How much can I play?
Right.
Which we're talking about, yes.
And with how many people, right? How well do I know this mountain to where I can be comfortable? So going far can only take you so much. Can only give you so much if you're not comfortable there. And I think that's oftentimes what we see out on the social dance floor. You see a lot of stressed out people. Obviously, they're all having fun, but they're all tense. They're all tight. They're all trying to do something. And I don't personally believe that this is the nature of the social dance at all.
Nope.
To go slow together, to have fun together, to experience together. This is where, when you say slow is fast, you're able to cover a lot more ground.
Yes.
Understanding the nature, understanding the goal of what is it that we're trying to do, or at least what's going to be most fulfilling.
Exactly.
And I think that's also what we're trying to preach actually in the whole show. Genuinely is what's gonna fulfill you. What's gonna have you enjoy this whole salsa thing the most. It behooves us as a business, as a company, as salsa instructors, that you love this salsa thing as much as we do. It's a dancer's high. Like you this is a place when you reach that you don't ever go back. This is a milestone that you can be comfortable in your own skin, that you can hear some music and you could tirar un pasito, and that's how culture in your home is created. I mean, I could give you my personal example. No one in my family danced. Like, I learned and understood what a two-step was. And I spoke about that in the episode that in my story. I learned what a two-step was when I was 16, which that's, praise God, that's still pretty young for a lot of us. A lot of us even start even after that. But, my name being Andres Fernandez, my father's Cuban, my mother's Ecuadorian, like, that's like, what? You're Andres Fernandez III, you're a salsa instructor, and you don't know how to speak Spanish. Like, again, I spoke about all this in my embarrassing story coming up. But ultimately, again, the idea is just being able to share this awesome experience with anybody who also loves it, which, newsflash, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. Once you start and once you truly understand, and the goal being is just another method of having fun, the same way some of us like to go mountain biking, some of us like to play baseball, some of us like domino, right? Some of us, like to dance too, and it doesn't have to be one or the other, which I think is another huge misconception.
Exactly.
You very much, and I think that's also, shout out to the Cuban people, or the Latinos in general, is that, we can do a lot of things, No,
hay una pila de cosas para hacer. There's a bunch of things.
It's a lot of fun when you're playing domino and you're able to talk smack, and you're able to make a café cubano really, really good.
And then you go dance after you finish the domino.
And then you go dance, and then you're showing off your bartending skills. Like, there's just at the end of the day, there's just a lot of culture there. But but it's still kind of wrapped around this whole idea of community and connection. Which is beautiful. And I think that if we keep that's beautiful, man.
Thank you.
That's beautiful that you were able to take. You're dancing with a student, and you were able to have. You had mentioned it was like one of the most fun dances you've ever had
in a long time. And by the way, you're always gonna lose it, and you're always gonna try to get it back, and you're gonna get it back, and then you're gonna lose it again. It's gonna happen. But never stop your feet. If you don't stop your feet, you'll just get it by default.
Right.
It's a matter of time. For
sure. And keeping that in keeping the objective clear, those types of awesome vibes are going to come to you a lot quicker, because you're not chasing after something, you're attracting something. Something's coming to you, this good feeling, because you're in a place of being comfortable and being relaxed. You're not trying to sprint to the end of the song. The song takes 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Like, it doesn't matter how fast your step is or what moves you're doing in the process. It's still going to take 3 to 4 minutes. How much fun are we having in the process?
Now, don't sacrifice, because I told you guys this. I told you guys the analogy of the mountain. Just because you're lowering your level doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your I guess, your own self-expression when you're dancing, because that's the way
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, you have fun by doing what's fun to you, and then you connect that with somebody else, and it's just like it becomes unpredictable, which is the fun part.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, if you're connecting with yourself, I guess, and you're self-expressing what you feel from the music, and then you're doing that with your partner, that's where you win. You don't have to sacrifice yourself, but just self-express yourself, connect to your partner. I think that's the way to go. It's really important to highlight that, because you don't want to sacrifice yourself entirely for the sake of your partner, because maybe your partner is not expressing herself either, or himself either, and you're the one who has to kind of do it to give them permission to do it.
Which talks about that all can be perceived as going slower.
Yes, and it's not.
Right? So we want to make sure that we're doing that to be able to create that space and make that happen. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Guys, we have the largest group that we've ever had so far reserved on Miami Salsa Cruise 2025. Yep. We hope to see you guys. There's very limited cabins left, but there's still time. Thank you guys so much for your continued loyalty. Visit MiamiSalsaCruise.com. We would love to dance with you. Please come join us on the dance floor.
Domino. We're also going to play.
I'm
bringing the dominoes.
Absolutely.
No pizza, though.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's going to be enough pizza tonight. Yeah, for sure. Thank you guys so much. Episode 177. Slow is fast. Rico Recap. Signing out.
Bye-bye,
Good
guys.
night.